Hey, so in this video, I'm going to show you how I built these wine racks. All right, so my wife and I got together and tried to figure out what kind of a wine rack we would want to have. And I looked at a bunch of different examples online of wine racks that people had built, and I didn't really like any of those designs. I decided to come up with my own. You can see here some of the ideas that I ran through in SketchUp. And eventually we came up with this design that's kind of it's got a little bit of a natural swoopy kind of curve to it. And it's going to let the bottles lay horizontally against the wall instead of sticking out from the wall with their full length. So in order to know the dimensions that I need to make the rack, I need to know how big the bottles are in the first place. And as you can see here, there's quite a variety. You've got bottles that are relatively wide and bottles that are really skinny like this. And I want to make sure that the rack can accommodate everything, you know, shorter bottles like this one and taller bottles like this one. So I need to measure to see both the diameters and the heights of all of these. Okay, so if they're 12 inches tall and I want to have them two across, that's at least 24 inches, but I want to make sure there's a little bit of... So I'm using poplar here simply because it's inexpensive and readily available at my local big box store. And the cabinets are made of alder, but once these are stained as dark as I'm going to stain them, you really won't be able to tell much difference. I just glued them up in my pipe clamps, wiped out the squeeze out, and then let them cure. Once the glue had finished curing, I hit them with the belt sander to knock down any unevenness at the joints, and then I went over the entire surface with my random orbital sander, starting with 100 grit, then 150, and then 220. Okay, so now it's time to cut out a template that we're going to use to mark the curves on the edges of the wine rack. So I'm going to use this piece of scrap wood, and I'm going to line it up perfectly with the corners of this table here and clamp it down so it doesn't go anywhere. So you can see from this measurement in SketchUp that the radius is 3 foot 5 inches. So I'm going to measure 3 foot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches from the edge of my scrap piece of wood there. And we're going to make a little mark on the table. Then I'm going to take a screw. I'm going to screw it right into the table. Not all the way in, so a little bit of it sticks up. Okay, with that screw in there, I can take this string and put this pencil through the loop that I've already tied in the end of the string. And then put that pencil right near the edge of my piece of scrap wood and hold it pretty firmly as I stretch that string over to this screw. Just wrap around that screw a bunch of times. Now, this will provide enough friction fit. I don't need to actually tie that off. It can just stay wrapped around the screw. All right, with that wrapped, now I can come to this end and just draw my curve. Now that that curve is in, I can take it to the bandsaw and cut it out. So now I have a template that I can use to transfer the curves to the backboard. I first measured and marked out only one of the backboards because I was going to use that first backboard as a template for my second backboard. Once I had the first one marked, I used the jigsaw to cut around the outside of that, leaving a little bit of extra gap there, which I then took over to the bandsaw and finished off right on the line. All right, so now that I've cut out the first piece, I could just move this over and snug it up against that side, cut out the next piece, and I'd have two pieces right next to each other. But my design is the one that I want to have one about this high on the wall, and I want the other one to be shifted up higher, so they're not right next to each other, but they're offset a little bit on the wall. So the simplest way I thought of to do this would be to just shift this down so that I get this curve that is going to be shifted the appropriate amount, and I'll just have this curve continue up off the top. And then we'll just continue this curve off the top of the board. All right, so now we're ready to cut that one. And once I was finished with all the cutting on the bandsaw, it's time for your favorite and mine, sanding. So once I finished sanding these, I came in and placed them on my kitchen wall so I could figure out exactly where I wanted to mount them. And I figured this would be a lot easier to do before I put the shelves on. Now my wall is a little tricky because it doesn't have studs in very convenient places for me. So I think I'm gonna be okay, but before I put the shelves on, I am actually going to put the mounting hardware on the backs of these and put the screws into the wall where I'm going to mount them and give them a try. Here are the anchors I'm going to be using. They're rated to hold 85 pounds each. Okay, so once I've got a hole drilled for these anchors, you just put the anchor in the hole and pound it in with a hammer. And then I found with these anchors, sometimes if you just use a drill to start that screw, which starts the mechanism inside the wall, sometimes they bend the wrong direction and the mechanism gets ruined and you've got to drill a new hole. So I always like to start these with a hand screwdriver because you can feel them more effectively and make sure that they're compressing the way that they're supposed to. This one feels perfect. Once it's started, I like to switch to a regular screw gun, but don't go too far with it or too fast. As soon as you feel it starting to grab, get off the screw gun and use a screwdriver to finish it. And don't make them too tight because the threads on these strip pretty easily. So I need to be able to super accurately mark the locations of those holes on the back of those boards to make sure that they're going to be aligned exactly perfectly. The only good way I could think of to do this was to take some of the same kinds of screws that are used in those anchors that have a pointy tip and grind off the head at the other end so it's also a point. Then thread these in so just the point is sticking out a little bit, and then hold the piece of wood up against the wall and push it onto those points so those points will mark the center of where those holes need to be. So I've got my sander here and that's what I'm going to use. I'll just put the screws into my drill like that and grind them. All right, so once I've ground off the end of this screw, there's no way to drive it into the hole anymore, and it's a little too tight to be able to turn by hand. So instead what I've done is I've gone ahead and put it into my drill and just closed the chuck down on those threads just tight enough to hold it so that I can screw it into the hole. And I'll just screw it in right up till it's nice and snug in there. Then we'll release the chuck, and now I've got a nice pointy location indicator for my holes. So then I held the backboards up in their correct position and pounded on the corners to transfer those marks. So you can see here the mark that was made by that sharpened screw is quite small. So I'm just coming and circling them with my pencil so I don't lose them. So I'm going to use these little brackets to reinforce the keyhole that I'm going to be putting in. To properly mount these brackets, I have to route out a little channel on the back of the board for them. So I'm going to hold it down with my littlest finger so that I can get around the whole perimeter and mark it so I know where I need to route. Before I route out this hole, I want to make sure that I'm not going to erase the exact spot where my screw needs to go. So I'm going to drill a little ways down right in the center of that, using a piece of tape on my drill bit. That way I know I won't go through the board, but it's far deeper than I plan to route. All right, and with that, the screws that I'm going to be using for mounting have plenty of clearance to get in and plenty of room to slide up into that keyway there. All right, with the mounting hardware attached to the back of each of the boards and some screws put into these holes, I can go ahead and test fit these before I stain them and finish them and attach the shelves to make sure that they're going to be easy to just bring in and hang up as soon as they're done. All right, that first one fits perfectly. I can't tell you how happy that makes me. Getting these to line up was a chore. Let's see how the other one's gonna go. There we go, perfect. All right, this test fit is a success. The holes all line up. They are firmly attached to the wall. They'll have no problem carrying the weight of the wine bottles. So now I can take them back off and finish them, stain them, install the shelves, and then bring them back in and mount them permanently. Speaking of shelves, I cut them all at my chop saw with a stop block to make sure they all wound up the same size. And then I took them over to the router table and used this bit to cut a fairly wide but fairly shallow groove right down the center of each of the shelves. Okay, so I finished putting these through the router, and they all have this nice groove in them now that the wine bottles will set in. But there's a little bit of a result that I'm not real thrilled about. I don't know how well you can see it here, but there's some unevenness to these cuts. The router that I'm using it was a really cheap router, and it's quite old and worn out as well. So I'm going to wind up smoothing these out by hand so that I can take out some of that unevenness in the cut there. You can see right in through there. All right, so it's time to attach these drawer pulls to the shelves. So these drawer pulls, their holes are centered at 96 millimeters, which is a little more than 3 3/4 inches. So I thought about a couple of different ways to mark these shelves so that all the drawer pulls wound up at exactly the same place. And I started by setting up one shelf with the holes exactly where I wanted them. And I thought once I had this one all set up, and I've already test fit this pull and it works perfectly, I thought I would just use a drill bit and I'd place the shelves right on top of each other. And I put this drill bit down into the hole and tap it with a hammer, which should mark my hole locations on the shelf below. Give it a little tap. I'm not hitting it very hard. Don't want to break my bit. You can see the little mark that the bit left right there. So I'm going to use the first shelf that I marked and cut already as the template for all the others. So then I drilled all the way through on those marks and then flipped the shelves over and put in a little countersink on the underside so you wouldn't see those screw heads. And then I went back into sanding purgatory for a while. Okay, now that I'm certain that these are going to fit perfectly on the wall, I've gone ahead and laid out the positions pretty close anyway to where I want the shelves to be. I've spaced them about 5 inches apart. And I put the biggest shelf at the bottom there because if we do have a larger bottle, I want it to be at the bottom. And so now I'm ready to start laying out the holes I need to drill through the backboard to put screws through the back to support these shelves. The problem is there's no good way to make sure that I'm going to get these shelves lined up perfectly straight. If the edges of these were still straight, I could just use my square to mark the screw locations. But since they're not, I have to come up with some other way to make sure that these shelves are going to wind up level with the bottom and with the top of this shelf, so that when I put the shelf up level on the wall, all of these shelves wind up being level as well. Okay, so here's my plan for making sure my shelves are nice and level. Off camera, I marked the locations of the center of each of my shelves. Then I used a couple of pieces of scrap to put the backboard into my vise here. Then I checked with my level to make sure that it was in the vise perfectly level. And now it is. So now all I need to do is use my level to draw a straight line through the center mark where I've marked for each of my shelves. And that center line is going to tell me where to put the screw holes so that when I screw through the back of this back plate, it will get right into the center of the back of the shelves. Each shelf is going to get 3 screws, and that should be plenty strong enough to hold a bottle of wine. So after I finished marking all of these center lines of each of the shelves, I used my calipers to measure off of the side of the curve to put in the screw holes, then drilled those holes and countersunk them. I also put a screw hole right in the center of the back of each shelf. With the shelves all prepped, it was time to start staining. I applied the stain just by brushing it on. I did a couple of coats, and then I sprayed on some dull rub lacquer that's the exact same product my builder used when they were building the cabinets in my home. After the first coat of lacquer was finished, I sanded very lightly with 400 grit sandpaper and then applied a second coat. So I don't want to have to put these down on top of something so that I can stain one side and then wait for that stain to dry before I can flip it over and stain the other side. I want to be able to stain the entire shelf all at once. So I decided I would put a screw into those pilot holes that I already drilled in the back. And then I set up some piles of scrap like this. And as I'm finishing staining this, once it's all stained, then it's a simple matter of leaning it up on that back side that doesn't have any stain on it anyway. And then I can let the shelf completely dry. This will save me some time because I don't have to flip them over all the time to keep staining the sides that I couldn't reach. Just like the backboards, I applied 2 coats of stain and then 2 coats of lacquer, and then I was ready to install the handles. Note that I'm installing the handles by hand here. I'm not going to use a screw gun for this because I don't want to risk the screw gun jumping off and shooting across my nicely finished shelf. Now they're ready to install. Okay, it is time to attach these shelves. First thing I'm going to do is put a screw through the center hole of the backboard for the bottom shelf. But I'm only going just far enough to get that screw to poke out so that I can line up the shelf with the hole. Okay, with that lined up, we'll put this screw most of the way in. We don't really want to sink it tight yet because I want to make sure that this bottom shelf is perfectly lined up with the bottom of my backboard, because that's what I'm going to use as my reference for every other shelf as I go up. So I've got this lined up nicely. So now I'll start the next screw. But I didn't put it in all the way either. And that's because I want to make sure that this first screw is able to sink all the way down. Nice and tight. That's good. Now I can finish off the second screw. And then the last screw. Good, nice and tight, no gap. Okay, with the first shelf attached, now I can stand up the whole backboard. And I'm gonna put a piece of scrap on top of it, like that, so that I can clamp it down to my assembly table here. Okay, with the backdrop clamped like that, now I'm gonna just do the same pattern for the next shelf. That is, I will start the center screw, just till it pokes out. Then I will grab the shelf and line up its center hole there, right on that screw. Then I'm going to press that shelf nice and tight to the backboard, and I don't care if it's level at this point. We're just going to kind of snug that screw up, not real tight. We're going to use our level on the back of the shelf to level things out. So now that we're nice and level, I will put in the screws at the 2 sides. I repeated the same process for all of the shelves on both of the backboards, and before I knew it, it was finally time to take them in and get them installed. And the final installation of both racks was really simple since I'd already prepared the wall and hung the hangers. I just had to line them up and hang them on their slots, and now we're finished. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I love the look, the design. I really love how well it matches the rest of the house, and that it stores the bottles against the wall horizontally instead of sticking out. It saves a lot of space that way as well. Well, hey, thank you very much for checking out this video and for watching this far. I really appreciate it. If you've got any comments or questions, leave them down below there in the comments box. I read them all, and I'd really love to hear from you about what you think of this project. And as always, thank you very much for watching.